for, and I'll be teaching you this morning. We have so many of you that I didn't even see walk in the door. This is awesome. We have a 90-minute class. So we have a 90-minute vinyasa ahead of you. Some of you are new to us and maybe have never heard that we have a thing called Century Club. And that's when you, inside of a calendar year, hit your 100th practice for that year. Some people make it in March. Some people make it in December. But today, Philomena, you'll get your water bottle after, and Greg are here for their 100th class. Congratulations. Okay, the only other announcement that I have is our Himalayan retreat is this week. It's on Thursday, December 1st. So if you were like on the fence and still want to go, there's still space for a few more people. You can ask me about that afterwards. And Debbie Dower is the teacher leading that retreat. It's Thursday night to Sunday afternoon. So any interest, Himalayan retreat, that's about a 3-hour drive north up 81. All right, I think that's all the business we have to handle. And you guys are good at home. You can hear me at home. Christy gave me the thumbs up. All right, perfect. Good morning, everyone at home. We're ready to go. Let's get into child's pose. Toes together, knees open, arms forward, and bring your forehead down to your mat. Here in the studio, you may have a card on the mat in front of you that says yes on one side and no on the other. If I come around and I see you don't have a card, I'm going to put one there with the no facing up. It refers to hands-on assisting. You can change it from yes to no at any time during your practice. Perhaps you would like some assist for some of the poses, but not others. Anytime one of our teachers is assisting, they'll always pass those out. Take a deep breath in, fill your lungs up, and then an exhale through your mouth. Let your body just sink into the floor and inhale again. Fill up, exhale. Build your slow, steady, deep, rhythmic breath. Fill your lungs up and then hold that full breath with a pause and then release your breath with a very steady attention until it's gone. Then fill up again. We use an ujjayi breath, one that's audible. You'll hear yourself breathing. You'll hear the people around you breathing, and through breath, we get an opportunity to connect, to create a sense of community within our practice through breathing. And you'll use a little bit of your imagination. Imagine you can hear people at home breathing, and at home that you can hear those in the room breathing. Come on in, it's okay. We'll use the breath to move our body today. So on your next inhale, lift your body up into downward facing dog. So the shape of an upside down letter V. When you come up into the pose, start to move around a little bit, exploring how it is in your body this morning. Bend and straighten your knees. You can shake your head out and let the weight of your head hang down heavy toward the floor. Get purposeful with your foundation. Set your feet long away from your hands and your feet a little wider on your mat, and really bring some breath into your body. Go anywhere that suits. You can move around and find a spot. Bring some movement more to your breathing. Inhale and tippy toe. Exhale, bend your knees so they hover down at ankle height. Then inhale, lift your hips up high. Exhale, press your heels toward the mat. Try that again. Inhale, tippy toe. Exhale, bend your knees and hover. Inhale, lift your hips up high. Exhale, press your heels to the floor. One more time. Inhale, tippy toe. Exhale, bend your knees and hover. Inhale, lift your hips up high. Exhale, press your heels down into the ground. Take another breath here. Empty it completely. Then look forward and step up to the front of your mat. Once you get there, lift halfway. Stay right here in this halfway lift and breathe. If your knees are locked and straight, soften them a little bit. Maybe rest your hands on your thighs and keep your breath flowing. You can set your gaze on one spot on the floor and just hold it right there. When we're purposeful with our gaze like this, it's called your drishti. As you're breathing, move your arm bones onto the back of your body toward the ceiling. While you do that, see if you can become aware of your thoracic spine, this part of your spine between your shoulder blades, sinking into your body, making your back even longer and flatter. Keep on breathing. So you might now start to notice your sitting bones reaching to the back of the room, the crown of your head reaching to the front of the room, like that, Tyler. And maybe you're starting to feel this a little bit. Press your heels down into the ground. You got it. Keep on breathing. Eyes set, drishti set, ujjayi, your breath set. And now really let your heels sink into the floor. While they sink down, even imagine that your feet are hugging in toward one another a little bit, like when you're beside the ocean and you're scooping the sand, you feel the sand sinking into the sand as the water washes between your feet. Now keep on breathing until you bring a quality of heat. We call it tapas into your hips and your legs. Do you feel that home? Feel your hips and your legs on fire? All right. We got a yes there. Take another breath in and then exhale, just hang down. Keep your breath flowing. Fold your arms and sway from side to side. You got it. Let your head hang, your shoulders hang. Keep the breath flowing. If you don't hear breath in your area of the room, you be the one that starts bringing it. You be the one in your area that's responsible for pulling the community together that way. Hang in the center, press your heels into the ground, come rolling up to stand one bone at a time until you're standing tall and you can reach your arms overhead, lift up to the ceiling, look up to the ceiling, and then bring your hands to rest in prayer position at the center of your chest. Now, we just spent a holiday focused on what we're grateful for. Presence right now, someone that you are grateful for in your life. And maybe even dedicate your practice to that gratitude today, expressing it and sending it out to that person. 3 times, we'll create a clearing together and ready for our practice by chanting Om. Deep breath in. Inhale, reach up, fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift halfway, high plank to low plank as you exhale. Then inhale, lift your chest, straighten your arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths together. Inhale, and a long, steady breath out. Another one. Breathe in. Concentrate on smooth, steady exhales. Last time, breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, move up to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway, long, flat back, and fold. Press your heels into the ground, stand up, look up, reach for the ceiling, fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift halfway, low plank on the exhale. Take your time. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. See if as you feel yourself breathing, you can hear breath in the room around you. 2 more. Doesn't mean that you're necessarily trying to sync up per se, but you're falling into a pocket of breath together. Bend your knees, look forward, and jump. Halfway lift, forward fold. Heels press down. You stand up, lift up and look up. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. Set your gaze and keep it. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Your gaze can get set now at the back of your mat as you breathe. Just put your focus on one still point and let yourself see what you see. One more breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees, squeeze the floor, and jump. Halfway lift and fold. Inhale, stand up, lift up, look up. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift, drop to your low plank. Upward facing dog, strong legs. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Now you'll start to notice the pace starts to pick up a little bit right about now. 2 more breaths. Still keep your exhales long and smooth. Last time, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees and jump. Halfway lift, forward fold. Inhale, stand up. Lift, stretch back. Fold to the floor and empty. Halfway lift, move to the low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now stretch this pose out a little bit. Your body's getting a little more warmed up. Walk your feet a little more to the back of your mat. Your heels don't need to touch the floor. For all of you, soften your knees a little bit and just drag your hips up and back to the wall behind you. Take 1 more breath. When you're finished with it, exhale and jump to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Chair pose next. Squat back, reach your arms up high and fold to the floor. Halfway lift, move to the low plank and empty your breath. Inhale, come to the upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge, arms overhead. Let's hold this for a few breaths. Once you get settled into your legs, put your felt sense, your inner attention on your back foot and press the back edge of your back foot into the mat while you lift your arch up. Once you feel the back edge of your back foot pressing down, lunge down deep into your front leg. Once you're down there, so low in your legs, lift the pit of your belly, lift your gaze, reach up. Take another breath. Okay, hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left side step. Keep your breath flowing. Arms overhead, set your drishti. Once you've got your drishti and you've got your breath, attention to your feet. Press the back edge of your back foot down and activate your back leg. Keep on breathing. Now bend your front knee until your thigh is parallel to the floor. Keep on breathing. Now lift up. Make the sides of your body long, all the way up to your ears. You got this. Take another breath. Hands to the floor for chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. You got it. Breath in and exhale. Let it go. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale completely. Now we move. Take a breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees and jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. We flow. Chair pose. Sit and reach. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Drop to the low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. Inhale, look up, reach up. Hands back to the floor. Slow, steady, low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side step. Take the big lunge. Look up and reach. Hands to the floor. Low push up. Empty your breath. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. So it gets a little messy here in the sun salutations, and that's okay. This is our chance to warm up, to get present in our body and in the room and to the group. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, bend your knees and jump. Halfway lift, forward fold. Here we go. Chair pose, sit, reach, fold to the floor. Take your time. Halfway lift, drop to the low plank and empty your breath. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. Inhale, lift up and reach. Exhale, stretch into your low plank and empty. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left side step and lunge, lift up, look up, reach, hands to the floor, empty your breath. Up dog, downward facing dog. The sun salutations take us from how we walked into the room and the breath that we had, and it starts to allow us to shape and mold our breath and our movements. And so maybe for some of you, you're slowing down, others you're stretching it out. But note when you have the inhale, the pause, the exhale, and the pause, there's room for everything. Let's give it a try. Take one more breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees and jump. Halfway lift, forward fold, chair pose. Sit, reach, fold. Nice pause there. Halfway lift, low plank. Take the pause. Inhale, come up. Exhale, go back, right foot forward. Inhale, reach up. Hands down, chaturanga. Get the pause here at the bottom. Inhale, come up. Exhale, go back. Left foot steps. Inhale, lift up, reach. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. We're just working it out. Finding our own body for today. Maybe take a sigh to clear your space. One more inhale. Exhale, bend your knees and jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose, sit. Stretch the sides of your body long. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Press your heels into the ground. Chaturanga, empty. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot forward, lunge. Inhale, look up and reach. Hands to the floor, chaturanga, empty. Up dog, down dog. Left side step and lunge. You're doing great. Inhale, look up and reach. Hands down, chaturanga, empty. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now, settle into your pose here. Feel what you feel in your body. Done a lot of good work here to wake up and warm up. Press your hands into the ground. Stretch your hips up and back. See if you can feel and become aware of the sides of your body being so long. Now, if you're near a wall, be careful. On your next inhale, raise your right leg into the air behind you. Watch it there, Jody. On the exhale, bend your knee and open your hip to the right. Now pause here and press your right hand into the ground. Breathe. Stretch the whole right side of your body long. Then flip it over, 2 feet on the floor, and keep your breath flowing. So one of the trickiest things to learn is to keep your breath flowing through the transitions. Get to the point where you have 2 steady feet on the ground and they're sinking into the floor. A quality of both feet being foundationally anchored. From your feet being anchored, stretch your right arm up and overhead, and for some of you, all the way to the floor for a wheel pose. That's it, Caitlin. One more breath. Side plank. Bring your right hand to the mat, face the long left side of the mat, and stack your body up. Once you get your body stacked up, put your attention on your feet and just wake them up. Feel your 10 toes like they're lifting and flaring and awake and alive. And keep on breathing. And then the whole right side of your body, this bottom side, stretch it long from the edge of your right foot on the floor to the deepening of your right armpit. Once you've got that, strong pit of your belly, high plank to low. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now take a sigh, clear your breathing, clear your attitude, let go. Left leg in the air. Bend your knee, heel to your hip, stretch your left side open. So you can melt your left hand down into the mat, all 5 of those fingers if you've got 5 there. And stretch up to your left knee. Flip the pose over, 2 feet on the floor. Let your feet sink down. Let your right hand sink down into the ground. And lift up out of your right shoulder. Perfect, Amanda. Steady breathing. As you lift up out of your right shoulder. Side plank. Left hand to the mat. Face the long right side of your mat. Stack your body up and breathe. Maybe you haven't noticed this before, but if you really create a foundation, like right now, your left hand, let your left pointer finger and thumb sink into the mat, but keep your elbow soft if it hyperextends. You might notice your armpit gets a little deeper, your left armpit. See if you can access that. You'll find your body like it's floating and it's light. Then the whole bottom side body long. You've got this, Laura. One more breath with grace, high plank to low. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward for crescent lunge. Get into your legs, arms overhead, and just set your gaze. Once your body's making the shape, start to just settle yourself down here a little bit. Get your legs, get your feet. Stretch up long through your side waist. And even lift up the pit of your belly all the way up through your side waist, and then engage the pit of your belly. Powerful legs. Reach up and look up. You got it, Adam. Press in. Lift up and go back. You got it. Get to the point where you're not just feeling strong, but you're also feeling free, whatever that would be. 3 more breaths. You got it. Just soften. Expand your chest and upper back. Stay with it. Hands to prayer position and twist. Bring your left elbow to your right knee and anchor it there. Now, the thing about twisting is a lot of us curl around and look behind us. Instead, take your gaze to the upper right corner of your mat space. Like upper, you don't have to look down at your mat, but that direction in the room. So that what you get in effect is that both sides of your body are long in this rotation. And then take any variation. You can open your arms, you can half bind your arms, fully bind your arms, wherever your pose takes you as you apply the principles of movement. Stay with it. Feel what you feel in the pose. All right, one more inhale. Last exhale and twist. Crescent lunge. Set your gaze. Sorry, I see your no. Warrior 2. Open up. Gaze set on one point. You can feel when your gaze is set, it starts to just settle the pace of your breathing. Now lunge deep. You can bend your front knee so it stacks right on top of your toes, just right out there. You can anchor the back edge of your back foot into the mat until you feel your back leg as much as you feel your front leg. Now stretch your arms wide apart. Lift up long through the sides of your waist. Tilt for extended side angle. Reach for the floor, reach for the ceiling. Keep your breath flowing. You want to angle your heel more out. Yeah, that's it, Caitlin. Stretch the right underside of your body long here. You might access that more by lunging even a little deeper. There you go, Marianne. Now, once you're deep in the pose, if you really press your back foot down, press it, you might also be able to reach your bottom arm to the front of the room as well. Take that on if it's available. Then chest to the ceiling. Last breath, hands to the floor, chaturanga. That was a good one. Upward facing dog, is that what you would say? That was a good one? Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward, crescent lunge. Arms overhead. So every pose is a moment by moment process. You check in with your breath, pose by pose. Check in with your body. If your breath is flowing, you're fine. Stay with it nice. If your breath starts getting really short and choppy and you can't catch it, well, you might want to modify that. That would mean maybe bringing your back knee to the ground for some of you. Get your breath, lift up to the ceiling and go back. That's it. Concentrate on the pit of your belly. You got it, Tracy. Lift up and go back. One more time. Then hands to prayer at the center of your chest and twist. Right elbow to your left knee. Now, once I get my elbow settled, I really drag my right heel back to the back of my mat and my chest forward to the front of my mat. Make my body as long as it can be from ankles through the side of the waist all the way up to my ears. Nice. Feeling kind of flexible? Lift your right hip a little higher. There you go, Kim. Yes, your whole body got longer. Arms, if you're taking arm variations, stay with your breathing. You've got this. 3 more breaths. Strong belly. Stay with it. Last one, complete it. Crescent lunge, reach up. Warrior two. So good. If you need another side, take it. Always a great time to take a clearing and start again. Deep, deep lunge. Now, for a lot of you, you could pull the pit of your belly in and up like that. Lift up long through the sides of your body. And then get ready. Tilt, extended side angle. Keep that in. Anchor the back edge of your back foot down. And really bring your breathing right through there. Lengthen it through the exhales. Take any arm variation, lunge deep, Corey, and lift your chest. For everyone, 3 more breaths. Hug this thigh in, 2 more. You got it. Last one, hands to the floor for chaturanga. You did it. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stretch back, stretch your hips up and back. Take a good breath, have a sigh. One more time, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, jump up to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. We'll take a chair twist, sit back into the chair pose. Maybe a quick glimpse down at your knees and see that they line up over your middle toes as you sit back. And then stretch long through the sides of your waist. Bring your hands to prayer. Twist to the right, left elbow to your right knee. Sit deep. Bring the breathing. Now, arm bones to the back of your body and thoracic spine. Let it melt into your chest. That's it, Ollie. You can open your arms, half bind or full bind the pose. A little more long over here on the left, Janelle. And sink your center chest in. Good. Deep, long side body. There you go, Leo. 5 more breaths. Sink this in. 4 more. 3 more. I'll take this. 2. Nice, Anne. Last one. Chair pose, reach up. Forward fold. Open your feet hip width distance. Hook your big toes with your middle and index fingers, and then just stretch down toward the ground. Consider you're letting happen a broad, wide back of the pelvis, lower back area. Broad and wide. As you are in the pose for a little bit longer, consider just letting your spine hang down long. Whole body long from your lower back all the way down to the crown of your head. And then breathe and see if you can become aware of some opening and some space in your back bottom ribs hanging in this pose. Keep hold of your right foot's big toe. Put your left fingertips on the block or floor underneath of your left shoulder. More weight in your left foot, and pick your right foot up to the side. If it doesn't come off the ground, no big deal. Just shift your weight. If it does, lift it as high as it goes, but hold on to your big toe. You got it. Arm bones on your back. You got that at home. Lift it up. Breathe here. 3 breaths. These muscles on the side of your hips, they do everything to help you stand up. All right, put it down. Shake your hips out. Somehow you didn't appreciate that extra information. Switch sides. So now what? Your right hand goes on the block under your shoulder. Hold on to your left foot's big toe. And then lift your left foot in the air if it lifts. And I tell you this all the time when we do this. I couldn't even pick my foot up off the floor the first time somebody asked me to do this. Foot as high as it will go. Hold it there, 3 breaths. Let your thoracic spine melt into your chest. All right, lift it, foot on the floor. Toe heel your feet open wide, take a goddess squat. So hips drop down, elbows to your knees, lift your chest. Once you get down into that squat, it's going to look different for everybody. Some of you, your heels will not be on the ground. Shift your weight over into the right hip and linger there for a breath. Shift your weight over into the left hip and linger there for a breath. Come into the center, forward fold. Walk your feet into hip width distance. Make sure that they're parallel to one another. Chair pose. Sit back into the chair and reach your arms up. Take a quick glimpse down at your knees. See that they're lined up over your middle toe. And reach your hips back to the back of your mat. Now, before we do anything, just stretch long through the sides of your body. You'll need to support that from the pit of your belly. Keep all that length, hands to prayer. Twist. So what is it? Right elbow to your left knee this side. Breathe there. Don't worry about where your gaze gets to. Anchor your pelvis and stretch your side body long. You got it. Now take your arm bones to your back. You'll feel a little pressure from your right elbow and your right knee. Last piece, sink your thoracic spine into your chest. Any arm variation you want. There you go. 3 more breaths. Feel the difference? Last one. Take the chair pose and forward fold. Feet hip width distance gorilla pose. So your palms go under your feet from the front. You stand on your hands. Could always have your hands stacked on a block if it doesn't feel great on your lower back to fold that far. Hands as far as they'll go under your feet. Now, I always love to wiggle my toes and shift the weight over the palms of my hands and just imagine my palms, the bones, the muscles just melting. Take your feet a little wider, Leo, and move your heels wider even. Now, the first round of this, you had the measure of holding onto your toe. Now you have the honor system. Release your hands from beneath your feet. Put your fingertips on the block or the floor. You notice how your big toes are in one line. Keep that. Lift your right foot to the right. So not back there behind you, because you'll feel that's easy because your butt cheek will do the work. We want it out here to the right. You should see your foot through the corner of your eye. As high as it'll go. 5 breaths. 5, 4, you got this. 3, I know it's like a weird, uncomfortable thing. 2, lift it up. Foot on the floor, shake your hips out. Ready for the other side of that? Left leg in the air. So fingertips on the ground, left leg in the air. Bring it a little forward, David. Yeah, toes, you should see them out, a corner of your eye. A little higher if you have an access to that. Foot on the floor, shake your hips out. Toe heel your feet wide open, take the goddess squat. Once you're down in the goddess squat, you might be exactly where it is best for you to be, or you might be able to add a little something more on. You could reach your right arm down to the floor so your knee is still behind your right shoulder. The next stage you could add is lifting your left arm up into the air. Some of you are ready for more than that. Take your top arm around behind your back. Some are still ready for even a little bit more than that. Wrap your right arm behind, hold hands with your left hand. And if you're ready for one last stage, then that, weight into your left foot. You keep hugging your knee and come up to standing. That's a little tricky because your knee wants to pop out. Go wherever you go. 3 more breaths. You got it. Keep breathing. 2 more. Last one. Bring yourself down to the ground. Everyone forward fold and hang. When you're hanging, shift your weight from one foot to the other foot and feel what you feel in your body. Get present to the experience you're having right now. Let's do the other side of that. Twist. Goddess squat. Malasana. Squat down, knees wide, elbows inside your knees. Reach your left arm over to the left. Right arm up to the sky. Maybe right arm around behind your back. Next step is to bind your hands so your knee will be tucked up behind your left shoulder. You want one step further, you'll take the standing leg bind. You got it, Corey, that's it. 3 breaths. 2 more. I know it pops right out of there. Last one. For everyone, forward fold and hang. Shift your weight from side to side and walk your toes a little bit closer together, feet hip width distance. Press your feet down into the ground and come rolling up to standing. Once you're standing tall, sweep your arms overhead. Set your gaze on one point. Right side eagle pose. Wrap your right arm under the left. Cross your forearms. Squat. Right leg high over your left. Tuck your toes behind your calf muscle. Now keep your breath flowing. You want to squeeze your legs together and squeeze your arms together and sit down low. Once you sit down low with your hips, drag your sides up tall. The whole time, just keep on breathing. One more breath. Step out, arms overhead. Left arm under, left leg over. Steady breathing on this side. When we're a little newer at this pose, we get to I've been going to yoga for a while and I kind of know that pose. We can end up kind of fixed forward in our pelvis. And then we start to bring our shoulders over our hips by just kind of cranking them back. Instead, sit deep. And from your low front body, the pit of your belly, pull that in until you feel like your spine's standing up tall, like your whole back, hips, ribs, head, shoulders are all standing against a wall behind you. Step out, arms overhead. Second set, right arm under, right leg over. Bind your arms. And bind your legs. Steady breathing, bless you. Once you get the pit of your belly in, bring your bottom ribs in. Even bring your arm bones back and see if you can stand up tall. A little more pit of the belly. Yes, you'll feel your lower back melt. See if you can become aware from the crease of your hips all the way up your sides, through your neck to your ears, a lot of length on the side. Step out, arms overhead. Left side, left arm under, left leg over. Steady breathing. I hear some really good steady breathing in some of the parts of the room. Hopefully you're hearing it in your room at home. Imagine your elbows are pressing down just a little bit. That'll drag your shoulders down and make your neck a little longer. There you go. Now more pit of the belly, and you'll just get this sway right out of your lower back, and you'll feel like it's melting. It comes from here, actually. Feel a difference? All right, step out, arms overhead. Hug your right knee into your chest. Check out your standing foot. Try to line it up with your heel behind your middle toe and stand up tall. Get to the place where you feel like the two sides of your pelvis are level and you're just standing tall, not leaning back. Then hold on to your toe or your foot, right hand to the right foot, and extend your right knee. You can always use a strap around your foot. Now just collect yourself here a little bit once your leg is extended. Get to the point where you're standing really tall. Feel the stretch in the right back of your body. Eyes on one spot, steady breathing. Keep your steady breath. Open your leg to the right, look and reach to the left. Breathe here. Now this is the spot where I always go for just letting ease come in across my chest, some kind of a quality of melting and easiness. Eyes on the spot, you have it. Bring your leg forward, hug your knee into your chest. Stand tall. Put your hands on your back pelvis like they're sliding down into back pockets. Stay tall. Breathe in. Exhale, press your heel forward. Stay tall. Inhale, bend your knee. Exhale, press your heel forward. Bend your knee. Press your heel forward. Keep your leg there. Sweep your arms overhead. Toes up to the ceiling. Straight leg, Leo. That's it. Toes high. Hug your knee into your chest. Open up for airplane pose. So chest open. And then stretch into it. Keep your breath flowing. Nice, Adam. For everyone, arm bones onto your back. So that'll occur like your shoulders moving toward the ceiling. You then might also notice that it seems as though the thoracic spine, the area of your spine between the shoulder blades, it just melts from your back down through your chest toward the floor. Hands to prayer position, press them together. Get steady. Half moon, left fingertips on the ground or the block, right arm in the air. If you would like to bend your right knee and catch your right ankle for sugarcane, you can take that. Take yourself to the edge of your pose. Stay with this. Now 5 breaths. Wake up your lifted foot toes, Paul. Wiggle those toes, yes. 3 more. You got it there, John. Last breath for everybody. Forward fold and hang. Sway from side. I feel like we need an attitude clear here. I don't know what gave me that hint. Take a deep breath in. Take a sigh. Come on up to standing. If you're using a strap, grab it and hug your left knee into your chest. Left knee into your chest. If you would like a strap for some of these poses, there are plenty of them up here. I'll pull the basket out if you'd like to grab one. Now note, are you leaning backwards? If so, stand tall from the heel that's on the ground all the way through to the crown of your head, like a plumb line, like a line that's held at the top and dropped to a weight. Stay tall. Hold on to your foot or toe. Extend your knee. Keep your breath flowing and steady. Steady breathing. Eyes just on one spot, Ollie. That'll make the balance easier. You got it. Open your leg to the left. Look and reach to the right. Now just breathe. Listen to the breathing. Okay, bring your leg forward. Hug your knee into your chest. Hands into your imaginary back pockets. Stand tall. Inhale. Exhale, press your heel forward. I always like to feel like I'm pulling my left hip back into my left hand. Inhale, bend your knee. Exhale, press your heel forward. Chest up. Again, bend your knee. Heel forward. Chest up. Leg stays there. Sweep your arms overhead. Lift your toes a little higher. Stay right here and breathe for 3. Leg a little higher. 2, stand tall, Kayla. 1, hug your knee into your chest. That was the best face. Open up. Keep your breath flowing. Airplane pose. Airplane pose. So a strong back leg. Really keep your back leg steady in the air. There's somebody's face close by your foot right now. Hands to prayer position. Keep your breath flowing. Half moon. Right hand down, left arm in the air, and you breathe. So let your body be in the shape of this half moon or sugar cane. You decide that. And then just let breath move through your body. See what you can see when you just put your attention on letting vinyasa happen. Breath move through the pose. 2 more. 1 more. Forward fold and hang. Come rolling up to standing. Arms overhead. Set your gaze. Right arm behind you, palm facing out. Bend your right knee. Hold your ankle or shin from the inside. Start with your knees together. Now take a breath. Press your right knee to the ground and lift your left fingertips to the ceiling. Like you're stretching an arrow across a bow. Stretch into this pose. There should be tension gaining as you stretch into the pose. Keep your breath flowing. The more flexible you are, the lower down your shin you'll hold. If you feel like you kind of reach the edge of this really quick, note on the next side, next set, hold your hands a little lower down on your shin. Okay, step out. 2 feet on the floor. Maybe you take a sigh here. If you need to just get yourself settled, maybe your hands are on your hips. We'll take the other side, left arm bone back. So if you felt pretty flexible on that side, hold on to your left shin. Right arm in the air, start with your knees together. Now take your knee straight back. Straight back, like you're pulling the arrow across the bow. From your fingertips at front to your fingertips at back, you pull the arrow through the bow. And then drive your kicking foot up to the ceiling. Stay in the pose. Stay right here and breathe 5 breaths. Feel the air fill the pose. 3 more. You've got it. 2 more. Step out of the pose. Good. Feet on the floor. Now you could soften your knees and put your hands on your thighs or press your palms together and set your gaze. Anything that lets you get grounded. Stillness, steady breathing. This is a pose that it's like a miracle maker, a change maker. Let's take a second set. Right arm bone back, open your forearm, hold your ankle from the inside. Start with your knees together, it matters. Left arm in the air. Steady breath and a steady gaze. Now start kicking back with your shin. Straight back. That's it. Nice. Good. So you're just creating the tension, stretching the arrow through the bow. Take yourself to the edge of the pose. It might require a sigh in the pose and some ease to find a new edge. Come on out. Feet on the floor. Second side, second set. By the time I get through the second set of this, I'm like on top of the world. So know that's coming your way. Ariana, keep that hip down. Yes. You got it. Even in this pose, stay with it, you want to keep making length in the sides of your body. That'll happen when this hip flexor stretches more. Yes, keep there. Drive your foot into the air. Last breath. Step out. Feet on the floor, eyes on one spot. Let your body settle. See if you can be really present for the actual change of your body settling here. It's kind of a cool thing to notice. Tree pose is our last balancing pose. Left foot on the floor, right foot to the sole of the inner thigh, the inner shin, or the floor. Press your palms together. If you're feeling like your heart's still beating hard, press your palms together. Feel like you're getting it and you're really settling your breath down, reach. Ready for something a little different? Prayer hands behind your back or any arm variation. Wake up both of your feet. In the pose, a breath with a sigh, and switch sides. Right foot down, left foot up. Set it up. Get your foot settled to the ground. A foundation created, a foundation with the lifted foot in the inner thigh. And then choose the arm variation. And then get to the edge of the pose. In this pose, to me, that usually feels like I'm on the edge of balance, like I'm so stretched into the pose that the whole of my body feels like it's a part of the pose. Last breath here. Come to the front of your mat. Once you're there, inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Lift halfway, low plank on the exhale. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Triangle is next. Step your right foot inside of your right hand. Turn your back foot flat. Then anchor the big toe of your front foot to the ground and take your knee almost straight. Once you have that, stretch the two sides of your body as long as you possibly can, and then open up to the triangle pose and breathe. From the feet up, breathe. Anchor the big toe mound of both of your feet into the ground as you breathe. A little straighter in your front leg. You got that. You can make the block tall too, Ollie. Janelle, soften your front knee. Thoracic spine into your chest. There you go. Bring yourself up to standing. Face the long left side of your mat. Hands to your hips. Lift your chest up high and forward fold all the way down. Once you get all the way down in the fold, make sure your feet are organized parallel to the short sides of your mat. Then walk your fingertips as far in front of you as your fingertips will go. Your hands, let your arches of your palms hollow up to the ceiling. That's it. So you just have a fingertip grip. Then breathe in. And as you exhale, settle your hips back to your heels until the whole of the two sides of your body are stretching long. From your fingertips up through your sides, through your hips, let your whole body be long. Once you have it all stretched out and exposed like that, you breathe and put your attention on your back, bottom ribs and feel what you can feel. Feel what you can feel in your back, bottom ribs as you breathe. There you go, Corey. This pose, for years I practiced it and I thought it was all about more flexibility in my hamstrings, which it's doing. But when I got the power of getting mobility in my back, bottom ribs from this pose, now I crave this pose all the time. Walk your hands back in, come on up to standing. Turn to face the front of your mat, standing single leg forward fold, or Hanumanasana, you could take a split. So it could be a half split, your right leg in front of you, or standing single leg forward fold, let's say with your hands interlaced behind your back. Chest forward and hinge forward. The ball of your front foot's big toe is a critical traction point in this pose. Steady breathing. From here, you put your left fingertips on the block or floor, just lightly. No pressure there, no leaning weight there. And keep pulling your right hip to the back of your mat. So you're very linear. Now stretch your two sides long and start to turn your gaze toward the right for twisting triangle. You could also step forward into reverse half moon. Your choice, take 3 breaths. Whichever variation you're taking, arm bones on your back, let your thoracic spine melt into your chest. You got it. Now breathe. These 2 points stretch. You got it. 1 more breath. Good. Step out of whatever it is. Take the chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. We have a whole winter ahead of us of good yoga. Left foot forward to triangle pose. Anchor your feet and stretch your body long. Then open up into your triangle and keep your breath flowing. Steady breath here. There's a difference when you're practicing in a room with a lot of people from just a few people. The difference isn't necessarily heat. What it is energy. Maybe some of you are really feeling that today that haven't practiced in a room with a lot of people in a little while. Maybe you're feeling like, wow, there's a little bit of extra work or something like that today. It's you being a conduit for a lot of energy, a lot of people moving energy through the room. Just keep your breath, keep your gaze, your foundation. Every now and then, just take a sigh. 1 more breath here. Come on up to standing. Face the long right side of your mat. Feet parallel to the short sides. Take your arms around behind you. Either bind your hands or use a strap. Chest up high and fold all the way down. Let your hands spill overhead. Once you get down there, just double check your feet. They have a tendency to become toes turn out. Move your heels a little wider. Now you're getting yourself ready for a pose that we'll do in a little while, a shoulder stand. Getting a little bit more length, little more space in your side and back ribs, fronts of your shoulders. Go even wider, Adam, so you can slide your hands over. Yeah, and then let that fall like that. Yep. Jody, a strap would be really nice in this pose. Try that on. Let it go a little wider. There, let it spill overhead. All right, come on up to standing. Turn to face the front of your mat, standing single leg forward fold. So now the left leg is forward. There should be length and width at your feet. Your front foot's big toe, your back foot's big toe and baby toe. Press them all down and then hinge forward. You could be taking the splits. Go a little longer, Nicole. Yeah, we want some challenge in the base. Good. I didn't learn your name yet. What's your name? Dora. Hi. Kayla, go longer on your feet. Yep. Once you get this all set up, twisting triangle, right hand on the ground, thoracic spine into your chest. You got it. Go ahead. I'll let you get in it, Caitlin. Press both of these points. 2 long sides to the body. I'm going to move my hand to your shoulder. There. 3 more breaths. You got this. Long sides. Last breath to the chaturanga. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Stretch out. Now feel how you feel in this downward facing dog. You can soften your knees a lot. Drag your hips back and feel how long you've created your body to be. It's a whole new world in this body right now. Come to a high plank position. Stay right in the high plank position. Right in the high plank. Right in the high plank. You might want to look forward, maybe like a triangle with your gaze and your 2 sets of fingertips. Then turn your toes under behind you, point them so your toenails are on the ground. Looking forward. Now with your arms, press more in the ground, round your upper back, and then sink chest through your arm bones. Press and round. You'll feel the pit of your belly working. Keep on going. You're practicing your handstands right now. Take 5 of those. Long bodies. Lift the pit of your bellies. 3. Oh, come on. 2. Belly flop all the way to the ground. I'm going to pretend I didn't see any of that. Keep your toes turned under like they were in the chaturanga and your legs active. So I'll borrow Laura's legs here a second. Toes turned under, taking her by surprise, legs active. All the way down on the ground with your chest. Take your hands around behind you, interlace your fingers, and then lift your chest up. So legs active. If I were laying on my belly, I'm doing the same position you're doing. You got it. We're getting ready for back bend, so we need to have access to tailbone back to the heels. Heels and feet sinking into foundation. From your ankle on the side of your body all the way up into your armpit and to your ears, length. Another breath. Come on down. Put your one ear on the ground, maybe shake your hips from side to side. Back bends come from a deep foundation, a lot of length, and then an opening in the chest. Let's do that again. Turn your toes under. Legs active. Hands interlaced at your lower back. Press your heels back, strong legs, tailbone back, hands back. Maybe you notice how the whole front of your body is lifting while the back of your body is descending to your heels. Inside of all this strength, hold on here. 2 more breaths. Just expand your chest and upper back. Ease. 1 more. Come on down. Shake your hips from side to side. Floor bow pose will take 2 sets. Bend your knees, reach back, and hold your ankles. Shoulders back. You want to flex your feet. Kick back into your hands and up to the ceiling. You got it right here. Floor bow pose. You could do this one side at a time. Now knees only hip width distance. You could be hugging a block between your knees. Strong legs. Can't quite catch your feet, do one side at a time or use a strap around your feet. Come on down. Wave your feet from side to side. Second set. Bend your knees, reach back and hold your ankles, or do the other side if you're doing this one side at a time. Discipline yourself. Don't let those knees go super wide. We don't want that. We want them in like they could be hugging a block. Kick back into your hands and up. That's it. Into your hands and up. You could flex your feet maybe and feel like your feet are standing on the ceiling of your space. Come on down. Feet side to side and hands to the floor beside your bottom rib. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Then jump through your hands, sit down and roll onto your back. We'll get ready for bridge pose. Once you're on your back, feet hip width distance. Sink your feet into the ground and lift your hips up. This can be one of those distracted sections of the practice. You got it. What happened to the bridge poses? Where did they go? Turn my back with you guys for a second. You're doing them at home. Now organize your feet. For a lot of you, your toes are turned out. Why? Move your heels a little wider so your feet are parallel to the side of your mat. You can check it out by just stepping your foot as wide as your mat. Got that? Keep your feet right there, sinking into the ground, and then hug your right knee into your chest. Don't move your left foot. You got it. Once your knee is into your chest, you just imagine you're hugging right into the center line. Just like the assist Adam's getting, that you're hugging your standing knee into a knee, you're hugging your lifting knee into another surface, foot on the floor and come on down. Knees side to side. Let's do the other side. Set your feet wide, press down, rise up. All the way up. Now you know it's coming. Hug your left knee into your chest. So we're looking for your center line. Hug right into the center line. It's a gentle hug, but right there's your strength. You got it. Feel it. Breathe. Put your foot on the floor and come on down. Knees side to side. Okay, we're ready. Come on up into the bridge. Set your hands and your feet wide, ready for a wheel pose. Now, you are welcome to continue taking bridge poses, but if you have access to a wheel, set it up and go. Wheel pose number 1, all the way up. Just get up there, see what's going on today. Pressure in your big toe, pressure in your thumb. Tuck your chin and come on down. All right, now we're not fooling around. We've got a few more of these to go, so let's get right to the work. Press down, rise up, number 2, wheel pose. Again, if you have access to wheel, take wheel. Get on up here. Take a deep breath in and a sigh. Then tuck your chin and come on down, knees side to side. Number 3, set it up. You can be taking bridge or you can take the wheel. All the way up you go. All the way up you go. Now work together. Everybody take a deep breath in. Have a sigh. Tuck your chin and come on down. Knees side to side. We're doing 3 more. Here's the first. Oh, stop the complaining. Here we go. Get it out. You got to get it out. Everybody take a deep breath in. Let all the complaining out. Sigh. There you go. All the way up. Press down, rise up. Now 3 easy breaths. Look at that. Tuck your chin and come on down. How many do we have left? Oh, you're honest. Okay, let's get to it. Next one. Press down, rise up. Let the big toes just sink into the mat. Let the thumbs sink into the mat and then hug in. Tuck your chin and come on down. Knees side to side. Nice. Some of you are taking your very first yoga class ever. You're doing a good job. Last one. Wheel pose. Press down, rise up. Let your feet sink down. Set your gaze, even here. You have it. Press down, rise up. That's it. Take a breath. Let your head hang. Tuck your chin. You got it. Come on down. That was it. Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of your feet together. Knees open wide. You can close your eyes or set your gaze on one point on the ceiling. Take as many sighs as you feel inclined to take. And then just feel how it is in your body, how it seems to you, what your experience is. Hug your knees into your chest. Dead bug, hold the outer edges of your feet and rock from side to side. Hug your knees one more time into your chest, then legs straight up to the ceiling. Curl up and reach to the foot side of your mat where your feet would have been. Take another breath in, and as you exhale, sink your belly so deep into the ground that you feel every single bone of your spine and your lower back on the ground. Breathe in. Exhale, lower your right leg. Toes point straight to the ceiling. Stay here, inhale. Exhale, switch. You keep switching. Your leg goes as low as it can go while you still feel every vertebrae of your back on the floor. So your body is hollow like this, like it's scooped out in the middle. Try to take 8 more. 7, so you can switch the count with every leg switching. See if as you're switching your legs, your body is still in stationary, not rocking. Finish the last of the 8 and hug your knees into your chest. We're going to take the stakes then a little bit higher. Get to the rest, knees into your chest. Now the next one is 2 legs up in the air, curl up. I find this can be easier for people if they're able to hug their block. And if you don't have a block, press your knuckles together. So you really have this sense of your center line, something pressing in. Now stay curled up. Let your belly sink to the floor. If you have a block, you can hug it between your legs. Breathe in. And as you exhale, lower your legs a little bit toward the floor. Now check in. Are you still pressing your hands? Do you still have all of the bones of your lower back on the floor? Some of you are as low as you need to go. Breathe in. Exhale, see if you can go a little lower, but no arching in your back. Breathe in. See if it goes even a little lower. Stay here. Press it. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale, legs in the air. We're doing 2 more. Don't go anywhere. The key is that your back does not arch, that the whole thing stays hollow. Here we go. Lower your legs if there's some lowering. Some of you don't need to lower at all. Breathe in. Lower a little more if you have it. You could soften your knees. Breathe in. Is there a little bit more? Sink the pit of your belly. Stay right here. Inhale. Exhale, legs up. I know this is a crowd favorite. One more time. Breathe in. Lower a little bit. How's it going back there, Sacralis family? Breathe in. Lower a little more. Pit of the belly down. Breathe in. Sink the pit of your belly. If there's any more, take it. Hold it there. Sink it. Breathe 5, 4. Sink the pit of your belly. 3, 2, 1. Legs up. Hug your knees. Let's take just some of the yogi bicycles because it just lets your whole body be left good. So shins parallel to the floor. This is like your rest activity now. Curl up, right elbow, left knee. Now, even here, I want all the bones of your lower back on the floor. You're working in this more hollow body. That's it. Trying not to rock from side to side. Take 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees and rock a few times, head to tail. So good. Head to tail and through to downward facing dog. Now check yourself out in this downward facing dog. It's been a little while since we've been here. Stretch out. Feel how it is for you. Done some incredible work already. Bring your right leg forward for pigeon pose. So the criteria is that your right thigh is parallel to the side of your mat, not out at an angle, knee pointing at an angle. So you want the hip of your right side directly behind your right knee. Your shin angle is the variable. More square to the front short side of your mat, more intense. You can tuck a block under your right hip for stability. But from the bird's eye view of your hips, both sides would be level. You could, with your left hand, reach back for your left ankle, and when you fold, take your left ankle with you. Switch sides. This is always, to me, one of the best parts of practice, where I've done all that work, opening, strengthening, been working my breath and my attention for such a while. I think I'm pretty stubborn. It takes about this long until I feel like, oh, okay, I'm getting that end of yoga class feeling coming on now. Place where I have less anxiety, a little bit less reactive, a little bit more able to be in choice. My breath is more regular, comes from a deeper place. What do you feel when you get to this part of the practice? What are you opening up into? What's present for you? The thing about your practice is it's yours alone and it's unique every time you come to your mat. Every time you practice, it's exactly as it should be. When you get to your mat, there's nothing about you to fix. You came perfect. And then we're just in a practice the whole time of discovery. What's possible here? What's possible here? Okay, sit on your left hip. Swing your right leg around for double pigeon. So there'll be a million variations of this in the room. You'll stack your shins one on top of the other with your ankles hanging off the sides. Now, there'll be a million variations. Some will be sitting more like your legs are a number 4, but for everybody, all ankles active. What we'd like to have happen is that nobody's sitting back on their cheeks, kind of curled back like you're wearing tight jeans. You might want to elevate your hips. We'd like everybody sitting on sitting bones and able to lift up out of your lower back. So maybe you're taking the pose in a new way than you've taken it before. Maybe for some of you, you're folding and putting some pressure on your feet from your forearms. Maybe for some of you, you're bored and you're thinking, what's new for me now? I've done this pose a million times. Maybe you're taking the number 4 and adding rotation to it. You pick. Whatever you pick, breathe. And then switch sides. Look for your sitting bones. Feel for your sitting bones being the base of the pose. So these are the bones at the bottom of your pelvis. Many of you could put some pressure in your hands and move your hips just back a little bit. For all of you, we're looking for lift out of the lower back, length in the sides of the body. Why do we care about that length? Well, without the length, there are no back bends, no deep breaths. Still working on that one page. Take just one more breath. And then we'll do the seated single leg extension. So a long right leg, a bent left leg. Still hips elevated or something softening the back of the long straight leg. Maybe some support of the left knee if it's in the air. Turn toward your long leg and fold over it. Left hand can reach for the baby toe side of your right foot. A water bottle is a pretty perfect tool for under the knee to keep the knee soft. Get long and fold. Then switch sides. Long left leg, bent right leg. This pose is, it's got an intention of release to it. So if you feel like there's part of you that doesn't feel that kind of a quality, it feels crowded, modify the pose, bend a knee a little more, lift your hips a little bit more. But see if you can get to a place where you're able to just have some length. Yeah, like that. You can even let your neck get long. There you go. 2 legs in front of you, seated forward fold. Now, you know when you take your standing forward fold, most of us have some amount of bent knee. We're going to need it here too. Reach for the baby toe sides of your feet and pull those back toward you. A strap could be a great tool here. You might want to shift your weight from hip to hip and move it behind you. Sometimes I like to take this one with my hands just bound at my lower back and see what it's going to take for me to be able to sit up tall. Arm bones on your back. Let your thoracic spine melt through to your chest. Reverse tabletop. Come on up. You could do it as a reverse plank. So lean back. Your fingers would point toward your feet the weird way. This, not back there, this way. Shoulders back. Press your hands down. Lift your hips up. You can try it with straight legs. You can do it with bent legs. It's up to you. Then let your hands sink down into the ground while your chest lifts up through your arm bones to the ceiling. Let your feet sink down into the ground. Hug your arms to your midline. Hug your legs to your midline. Take a breath with a sigh and sit down. Roll onto your flat back and roll your feet overhead for plow pose. Now, if you're not a person who chooses to take plow, you could take waterfall. Lie flat on your back with your legs straight up in the air. You're welcome to work on any inversion that you're working on in your practice right now, but just be responsible that if you were to fall out of it, you wouldn't end up in somebody else's space. Do whatever it takes to kind of get situated. Nice, Greg. Then see if you can settle in the pose into stillness. Eyes on one point, breath steady. Not a forced stillness, but a quality of being still inside the middle of the pose, the center of the action, with your breath flowing and easy. Take 5 more breaths. When you finish the last breath, take whatever would be the appropriate completing pose. For some of you, that will be coming to your back with your knees into your chest. For some, it might be a child's pose. Come into your completing pose and take a sigh. Wherever you are, make your way onto your back with your knees into your chest. You can drop your knees to the left and look to the right in a simple twist. Once you're there, take a deep breath in and sigh. Let your body melt into the shape of the pose. Switch sides. Take a deep breath. Open up your mouth and sigh. Melt, let go. Then onto your flat back, Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of your feet together, knees open wide. Now organize yourself so you feel comfortable in this pose. For me, that would mean moving the back of my pelvis down toward my heels more so I wasn't so crowded in my lower back. For you, it might mean getting your shoulder blades underneath of your body. Here in the studio, everybody has a cold eye towel to your right or left. At home, it might be cool. You might need a blanket. Feel how it is for you. Take a sigh in this pose and melt. Next, stretch your legs out long and wide. Organize your body so it feels supported and it's comfortable. Whatever that might mean or take here in this pose. Maybe arms wide, palms facing up to the ceiling. Maybe feet wide, let your toes drop out to the side. Once you feel like you've got it pretty well organized, breath in and sigh here. I'm going to read a reading for you from Journey to the Heart, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of silent time. If you find yourself called to rearrange your body at some point, you can do that because there are inevitably stages of deepening relaxation. This reading is titled, Let Your Heart Open Gently. Let your heart open gently, safely, surely, and certainly. Do not let others decide when or even if you will open your heart. When or if you will embrace love. Those choices are too big, too important to let others make for you. Only you can decide how and when. There was a time when it wasn't safe to open your heart. Pain was all around you. You were not equipped to be that open. That time has passed. You have learned. You've grown. You have learned that you are a loving being. You know now that your love comes from within you. It is safe to open your heart. The universe awaits, ready, willing, delighted to be able to help you open. The same way it aids the opening of a flower with the sun, the rain, the earth. To deny your power and ability to love is to deny joy. To deny your loving essence is to deny yourself, your God, and the divine in you. Look around. It's not your location that makes you safe. It's where you are in your soul, your mind, your heart. That place is good. That place is safe. Open your heart. Embrace life. Go joyfully on your way. Begin to deepen your breathing. Take a deep, deep breath in. Exhale through your mouth. As you breathe, wiggle your fingers and your toes and squeeze them. Roll your head from side to side. Bring your knees into your chest. And roll to your side. With your eyes closed, come up to a sitting position. Arrange yourself however you're most comfortable, but able to sit tall. Then swing your arms overhead and bring your hands into prayer position at the center of your chest. And with your eyes closed, take a moment to feel how this moment is for you, how it feels inside, how it seems to you, physically, emotionally, how the world seems. And from here, set an intention for the rest of your day. Now we'll create a sea of 3 ohms. We'll start the first one together. There'll be 3. You just begin the second and the third as you are ready for it. Feel free to make a lot of sound. Don't worry how it sounds. Take a deep breath in. Bring your thumb knuckles to the center of your forehead. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through your mouth. And we'll bow to each other in gratitude and say, Namaste. Good work. Thank you all. We have here what we usually refer to as the perfect Sunday morning Vinyasa. There are 30 minutes. If you'd like to stay and take another class, we have a restorative class. So take everything out so we can clean it all up, and you'll come back into the room after that. Laundry baskets by the desk. All the yes, no tags go on the desk. Any borrowed blocks and straps, the straps can go in the laundry. The blocks can sit on the floor by the shelf. And borrowed mats. I don't think anybody has one, but you can leave it where it is. Otherwise, have a great rest of your Sunday. Thank you to all of our new friends, old friends. Get yourself signed up. Set a new habit and pattern of practicing 2-3 times a week. And I'll see you next class. Bye at home. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining. Thanks for coming.